Hi everyone, my name is Lucy. Thanks for joining me today on AADL TV for First Chapter Friday. Today, I'm going to read you the first chapter of a new book called We Dream of Space by Erin and Entrada Kelly. This is a book that you can get from Overdrive, or if you use the Libby app, you can get it on the Libby app. And it is a story about three siblings, Cash, Fitch, and Bird. They're all in the 7th grade together. They're triplets. And this book takes place in 1986. So it is taking place right around the time of the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger and then the ensuing Shuttle Challenger explosion. So that is a little bit of the backdrop. The chapters in this book alternate between the siblings. So each sibling gets a turn. You'll have a chapter from Fitch, you'll have a chapter from Bird, and then a chapter from Cash. So if that's the kind of book you like with those alternating chapters, this would be a great one for you. I'm going to go ahead and read the first chapter for you. And this is from Fitch's point of view. Chapter 1. Wednesday, January 1st, 1986. Ready for takeoff. The pinball machine didn't steal Fitch Thomas's quarter. Not really. But when one of the flippers is broken, there's no point in playing. As soon as Fitch realized this, something sparked inside him, something ugly and familiar. He stared at the slot where he'd sunk his quarter only moments before. Easy does it, Fitch. Just go to Mr. Henley's office and get your quarter back. No big deal. The big blinking lights of the machine, Bright Star 1 it was called, seemed out of place in the arcade today. Fitch looked around. He was one of the only people there. Maybe it was too early for people. It was never too early for him. Ready for takeoff, the lights blazed. He left them behind and walked to Mr. Henley's office. The door with manager stenciled above the frame was open as usual. Mr. Henley was manager, owner, and staff. When quarters were stolen, he was the man to see. Fitch cleared his throat. Mr. Henley, he said. Mr. Henley looked up from his ledger. Henry Nelson Thomas, my favorite patron. What brings you to the front office? This was what Mr. Henley always said, even though no one called him Henry, and Mr. Henley's office was in the back corner of the small arcade, nowhere near the front. Fitch motioned half-heartedly toward Pinball Row. One of the machines is broken, he said. Mr. Henley placed both hands on his desk and stood up, like President Reagan, ready to face the Soviets. That is unacceptable, Patron Thomas, he said. Mr. Henley was what Fitch's mother would call an odd duck, but he moved fast. Within seconds, he was in front of the major Havoc game in the center of the arcade, squinting at the screen. Not that one, Fitch said. He pointed at Bright Star 1. This one. Mr. Henley raised his eyebrows. But you're a Major Havoc guy. One from all from one, fighting for humanity and all that. Yes, it was true. On any given day, Fitch could be found at the Park, Delaware Arcade, officially named the Pinball Wizard, but known to the locals as the Arcade on Main, playing Major Havoc, a game that his best friend, Vern Rapace, said was a Star Wars wannabe, even though Major Havoc had been released first. But whatever. Vern was so obsessed with Star Wars that Fitch had developed unfounded resentment toward Luke, Han Solo, and the whole lot of them, except Vader maybe. Vader was kind of cool. The more Vern ragged on Major Havoc, the more dedicated and defensive Fitch became. And now he was so preoccupied with beating his own high score that Major Havoc, in all his vector-graphic glory, sometimes appeared in his dreams, demanding that he get to the reactor before everyone exploded. But today was January 1st, and Fitch had made a New Year's resolution to try something different. The last time he was here, his twin sister had come along and been entranced by Bright Star 1, with its spaceship and lights. She didn't want to actually play it. Video games were not her thing. But she tried to convince him to give it a chance. He'd snapped at her to leave him alone, then felt bad about it later. So he'd gone for the pinball machine this morning, even though no one played pinball anymore. And now look what had happened. Mr. Henley made his way to Bright Star 1 and tapped it affectionately. "What's wrong with it?" he asked. "The right flipper's broken," replied Fitch. Mr. Henley pushed the button. When nothing happened, he said, "It's impossible to play a respectable game of pinball with just one flipper." Duh, Fitch thought. Mr. Henley disappeared into the office and emerged seconds later with a sheet of paper with "out of order" written across it in fat black letters. The smell of magic marker wafted in the air as he taped it across Bright Star 1. "Thanks for the heads up, Patron Thomas," Mr. Henley said. He smiled. It was a wide and pleasant smile and took up most of his face. "Anything else I can help you with?" "Yeah, you can give me my quarter," Fitch thought, but he didn't say it out loud. The fire was too bright. So that was the first chapter of We Dream of Space by Erin and Entrada Kelly. And as I said, this is available on Overdrive for you to check out or maybe put a hold on. But it's there. And if it sounds like your kind of thing, historical fiction with chapters alternating between characters, I suggest giving it a try. I hope you enjoyed the first chapter. I can't wait to read more. Thanks.